So my name is Natani Notah. I'm an interdisciplinary artist and educator currently based in the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm an enrolled member of the Navajo Nation, Diné on my father's side, and I'm part Lakota and Cherokee on my mother's. I was born in San Bernardino, California, and I grew up traveling between there and Arizona to visit family. So I very much consider the Southwest to be home. My current art practice explores contemporary Native American identity through the lens of being a Diné woman, and much of the art that I make draws upon my personal background and research to make artwork that highlights the importance of female Native representation in the arts. And I have a background in painting and printmaking, but for the past several years, I've focused mostly on sculpture, installation, and performance. And being an artist has always been something that I wanted to do ever since I was very little. So I feel extremely fortunate to be able to have made a career out of it. So to me, Native feminism is deeply connected to acts of decolonization and resisting assimilation. So an example would be the reclaiming and enacting of our belief systems that respect the strength and sacred role of women in the community. Many Native nations share this or a similar philosophy. And personally, I grew up knowing the significance of coming from matrilineal societies. More specifically, I feel very grateful to have come from a family where my father always encouraged me to be strong and to be smart. My brothers are also huge supporters and have always encouraged me to follow my heart and my intuition. And as a result, I've been able to pursue a career in art where I explore how powerful it is to be a woman and look at the histories that have impacted the way that we see ourselves and those around us. So the works selected to be part of this exhibition were made between 2017 to earlier this year, and in part explore issues related to resource extraction, environmental contamination, the effects of missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and two-spirits. And all of these issues I find them very much interconnected, and I'm invested in raising awareness about them through my art, but also questioning how we as survivors can thrive despite these painful histories. Also calling attention and raising awareness that these are not just statistics, these are not just numbers, especially when it comes to missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, two-spirits, that is not just a number, that is a sister or an aunt or a mother or grandmother or a friend. And I suppose one of the pieces that does that the best for me in this exhibition is probably Don't Bump Her, which is made from a found piece of a car. It's a found kind of cracked bumper. And what I ended up doing with that was finding it, taking it back to my studio, washing it, polishing it, and then adorning it with leather fringe and propping it up, in a way, giving it a second life. And so through this act of kind of taking care of something that has been hurt or harmed, I very much kind of saw it as this female entity, as a female spirit or being or object. And I find that I do that a lot with my practice. You know, I make something, and then by making something, in a way, it's like I'm giving birth to it, and it becomes like a child, or becomes this thing that has the power to exist in the world and communicate. So Don't Bump Her is also part of a series of work entitled Impact, where I was investigating the impacts of colonization rather than talking about the effects. I fixated on this word impact and thinking about a moment where two cultures or two opposing things collide, and then there's this event or this, in this case, a car crash, and then this resulting fragmentation takes place, and there's all of these different parts, and how do you kind of clean that up, or how do you put things back together? And so that is part of what this work is about too, is kind of looking at this as a long history, and it's not just one isolated event. It's been since contact, and it's still ongoing today. When it comes to stereotypical images, in my work, I have done a few pieces where I've focused on the Land O'Lakes imagery and Mia, the butter maiden. And she recently, earlier this year, was discontinued and has disappeared from the packaging, which in one way is a positive thing, taking kind of a romanticized, hypersexualized female Native figure off of a consumer good. I think that that is the right direction. However, for me, it also kind of, in an eerie way, mimics some of the things that are happening in our community with the disappearance of women. So the piece in the exhibition titled No Lakes is two coffee mugs that have the old logo on them, and then it's the inside is filled with contaminated water. And to me, this was like a metaphor for what happens when the kind of key figures in our society are being targeted or attacked, and how this directly relates to conversations about the environment. And with this piece in particular, I think I'm still trying to unpack it and make more work that is now investigating, right, the disappearance of Mia as a figure that has been so ingrained in our kind of American pop culture psyche. So since I am a Native woman making work that draws upon my lived experiences and connections to my community and culture, I often pair unexpected elements together and include Native beadwork, leatherwork, and fiber to complicate our understanding of inherited tradition and value. All too often, the art world tries to separate those modes of making from fine art into categories of craft or something that's like less than. And when I was just starting out in my career, this did bother me. But now, instead of fighting it, I've embraced it, and I strive to make work that operates on these various levels. In other words, you could see my work in an art fair, a gallery, a museum, or in domestic settings, such as the kitchen table, like where I learned how to bead when I was a kid. So I would say that my work is heavily steeped in like indigenous customs or epistemologies, philosophies, kind of insert any kind of word there, because I am someone who is connected to that part of me and wants to make work that draws upon that, but is also able to exist within all circles and have conversations that kind of break down these lines that tend to divide us. All right, so I can only speak for myself and from what I know, which is only one perspective. So I hope that my work invites viewers to pause for a moment and consider the importance of increasing Native, specifically Native female representation in the arts and at institutions that have historically left us out of the conversation. And I am starting to see this happen more frequently and at very high levels. And so I'm very hopeful. And I think that our futures are bright and that art is art curation, collaborations, exhibitions such as Native Feminisms at Apex Art are going to continue to propel that conversation forward and provide opportunities for younger generations to see themselves in places that they might otherwise feel left out of. So that would probably be my biggest hope when it comes to my work, that it inspires future generations.